Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, children. The last class, we started with control structures. In control structures, we have sequential, alternative or branching, iteration or looping. In sequential, all the statements will be executed one after the other. That is in a sequential manner. Whereas in alternative or branching, based on the condition, either true block will be executed or false block will be executed. This is also called as conditional statement. In this we have simple if statement, if else and if else statement. This is the syntax of if condition. If the condition is true, the action block will be executed. Here in if else, if the condition is true, block 1 will be executed, otherwise else block 2 will be executed. And in this, you can combine more than one condition. First condition will be checked. If it is true, block 1 will be executed, otherwise another condition 2 will be executed, check. If it is true, block 2 will be executed. If both the conditions are false, else block n will be executed. The last class we were discussing about all these things and these are examples also. Let us continue with the iteration or looping constructs. When the user need to execute a block of code several times, in that case, iteration or looping constructs will be used. Here you can see a condition. The control checks the condition. If the condition is true, these statements, this true block will be executed and the control will go back to the condition. Again, the condition will be tested. This process will continue till the condition remains true. When the condition becomes false, the control will move to the else part. Else part is optional, children. If it is given, else block will be executed. Otherwise, the control will go to the further statements in the program. In looping constructs, we have while loop and for loop. This is the syntax of while loop. While is the keyword. You have a condition. If the condition is true, block 1 will be executed. When the condition becomes false, the control will come out of the loop, else block will be executed and this is optional. This is the syntax of for loop. For counter variable in sequence. This counter variable, this control variable, will get the values from the sequence. And for these values, this block 1 will be executed. And here also you have else block, this is optional. Let us see everything. Example. Here you can see, children, this is example for while loop. You have a variable which is initialized to 10, I equal to 10. While I less than or equal to 15, this is the condition. The control will execute this statement and checks the condition. For the first time, I is 10, it is less than or equal to 15, the condition is true. The action block will be executed, where you have a print statement and implementation statement. So the value of I will be printed, 10 will be displayed, and you are going to increase the value by 1. Now I will become 11. The control will go back to this place again. The test condition will be evaluated again for the next iteration. So I is 11, again the condition is true. So this process will continue till I reaches the value 16. When it reaches 16, the condition is false. The control will come out of the loop and else part will be executed. I'll execute this program. You can see the output, children. We have initialized the variable I, the value 10. So starting from 10 till 15, the I value is getting printed. When I reaches the value 16, the control exits the loop. Since we have this print statement in else part, you are able to see this statement. Value of I when the control exits the loop, 16. In any looping structure, 4 important things you can see. Initializing segment. So here you have initialized the variable, the value 10. The next one, test condition. Before every iteration, the test condition will be evaluated. If it is true only, the loop will be executed, action block will be executed. So this is the second one. Next one, body of the loop, where you can have any statements. And the last one, important one, is updation of the control variable. Here we have changed the value, we have implemented the value of I by 1. You can see, if you miss this statement, what will happen? All these things already learned in C++ statement. So updation of control variable is important. Here you can see I is 10. First time the test condition will be evaluated. It is true. You can print 10. Since we have removed the statement, the value will remain 10. You didn't increase the value. So again the test condition is true. Again it will be printed. So this will end up in infinite loop. Now I'll execute this. You can see the output. I have interrupted the execution. So you can see several times 10 is being printed. So it is a must that you have to change the update the control variable. This is important step. So in this action block, actually you are printing the value of I, only one statement you have. Okay, so initializing the control variable, testing the condition. If it is true, this block will be executed, and updating the value of control variable. And one more thing, this loop, while loop, is called as entry check loop, because at the entry level beginning itself, the test condition is evaluated. You are checking the condition. Only when the condition turns to true, the action block will be executed. Here you can check that is and change the value to 17. At the beginning level itself, the condition will be tested. Since it is false here, you can see the output. So the loop action block is not executed. Only the else part is executed. You can see the value of I actually is 17. So this is entry check loop. If the test condition is false, the loop will not be executed. Let us see the example for loop. This is also entry check loop. Here you can see for is a keyword, I is control variable, and for loop uses range function to give the initial value, stop value, and implementation for the control variable. In C++ you would have learned, children, for the first part will be initializing part. You have to give the initial value to the control variable. Then the test condition will be evaluated, and then incrementation segment will be there. So the starting value, initial value will be given like this. First segment, range function is going to be the initial value and stop value, end value, and incrementation. So this function is going to provide the sequence of values to this control variable. This control variable I will take the values from this, and this body of the loop will be executed where we have only three statements. So see this example, your initial value is 1. Always it will take the stop value minus 1. I will take the value from 1 to 10 minus 1, that is 9. 1 to 9 values will be assigned to I, and the step value is 1. So at the increment of 1 you are going to take this. This is optional. If you don't give, by default it will take it as 1. And after completing the loop, when the control comes out of the loop, else part will be executed, where we have end of the loop. I'll execute this. You can see from 1 to 9 the numbers are printed and end of the loop. You are starting from 1, this is initial value, and the end value is the second argument minus 1, 10 minus 1. So till 9 the values will be assigned. So you are able to see 1 to 9. Now let me change this to 2. Step value as 2. Are you able to see the output, children? You are starting from 1, but step value is 2. So it takes a value from 1, 3, 5, 7 until 9. Because your end value is 10, till 10 minus 1, only the values can be given to the control variable. And this is an example for loop, children. The next one is an example for nested loop. What is nested loop? A loop placed within another loop is called as nested loop. You can have a while loop within another while loop, for within another for within while, and while within for. So this is called as nested loop. Here in this example you can see a while loop inside which we have for loop. I is the control variable for outer loop, while loop. So you have initialized here to 1. And what is the test condition? I less than or equal to 6. So I will take the value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 times the outer loop will be executed. For this while loop, this is the body of the loop. That is, you have for loop and the print statement and the incrementation statement. This is the action block for while loop. So every time, for each and every value of I, this loop will be executed. So consider first time, what is the value of I? It is 1. Test condition will be evaluated, it is true. So you are going to execute this. For j in range 1, I. For loop you have the control variable j. J will take the value starting from 1. What is the ending value? I minus 1. So already I is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. So for the first time when I is 1, the for loop will not be executed. Your cursor will come to the next line, you are increasing the value of I. Next iteration for while loop will take place. So where I is 2, test condition is evaluated, it is true. You are going to start the second iteration now for I. J will take the value from 1, 2 minus 1 is 1. So 1 and 1, only one time this loop will be executed when I is 2. So 1 will be printed. When I is 3, 1, 3 minus 1 is 2. J will take the value 1 and 2. 2 times this print statement will be executed. That is 1, 2. When I is 3, 1, 2 will be printed. When I is 4, 1, 2, 3 will be printed. Okay. So when I reaches the value 7, it will come out of the loop. Execute this. Are you able to see, children? First time nothing is printed when I is 1. When I is 2, j will take the value 1. One time it will be executed. You are able to see 1. When I is 3, j will take the value 1 and 2. Time. When I is 4, j will take the value 1, 2, 3. When I is 5, you can see this. When I is 6, this 1. When I takes the value 7, the control will come out of the loop. You can check that using if statement. Are you able to see, children? When I gets the value 7, the control will come out of the loop. So else part will be executed where we have this print statement. Is it clear? So this is an example for nested loop structure. While loop is outer loop, for loop is inner loop. For while loop, I is the control variable. I will take the value from 1 till 6. So 6 times the inner loop, for loop will be executed. The next topic is jump statements. Jump statements in Python. We'll be discussing about this in the next class.